All right, let's jump right into this explainer, shall we? We're unpacking a really wild modern fable straight from the text of The Alchemy of Persistence. You know, this narrative completely strips down the actual mechanics of success, focusing on this guy who literally turned one single dollar into $1 million empire. It's crazy. So, for the next few minutes, let's just toss out all that complicated business jargon we're so used to and look at the raw, bare-bones elements of what really drives achievement.
I want you to picture this. You're holding a single dollar bill in your hand right now. Just $1. Now imagine someone telling you with absolute certainty that this one piece of paper is going to become $1 million. I mean, as the source points out, most of us would probably just laugh, right? We'd write it off as a total joke, completely disconnected from reality. But the guy at the center of this explainer? No way. He didn't laugh at all. He looked at that same dollar and he saw a starting line.
What's so incredible about his starting line is how it completely levels the playing field for the rest of us. Think about everything he completely lacked. He had zero inherited wealth, no famous family to open doors, absolutely no powerful connections, and definitely no magical secret shortcut to the top. Literally nothing. But what he did have in his inventory was just a decision, a rock-solid decision to never give up. It wasn't a bank loan or a tangible asset, you know? It was this purely internal choice, and honestly, that choice turned out to be way more valuable than all those other privileges combined. So, what does that never give up decision actually look like in the real world? Well, it was a seriously unglamorous grind. We're talking hour 1, working before the sun is even up, grinding away while the rest of the world is literally still asleep. Then fast forward to hour 12, and what's the big reward for that early start? Just facing rejection after brutal rejection, all while listening to his friends actively doubt his sanity. But here's the kicker, the real game changer. Day 2, he wakes up and does the exact same thing all over again. He doesn't quit. Instead, he goes back into battle armed with the fresh lessons from the day before. Just take a second to imagine the heavy psychological toll of that reality. I mean, we all have rough days at work, sure, but it is a whole different beast when society is loudly and repeatedly telling you that your goals are just flat out impossible. That word, impossible, it's suffocating. Most people hear it, accept the boundary drawn for them, and just pack up their things. Pushing through that daily chorus of doubt, man, that requires a very specific kind of mental armor. And that brings us to the exact mindset shift you need to survive that kind of crucible. The source material puts it perfectly. Each failure taught him something the next success couldn't. That is just such a profound realization. He wasn't ignoring his failures or trying to sweep them under the rug quickly. Nope, every single rejection was carefully reframed as an irreplaceable lesson. Because let's be honest, success feels amazing, but it rarely teaches you how to survive. Failure gives you the exact blueprints for what not to do next time. So eventually, after all that grinding, the turning point finally arrives. This is how the alchemy actually happens. Out of this mountain of rejections, one unexpected opportunity pops up, and it sparks a single, highly focused idea. But, you know, an idea is basically worthless without the relentless effort to back it up. All those early mornings and late nights pour directly into it. When you combine that crazy effort with even a tiny investment, it creates this massive chain reaction that scales up to reach millions of people. That $1 didn't just magically multiply, it was engineered through this exact progression. But hold up, because the text throws a really fascinating pivot at us right here. We've talked about the effort, we've talked about the hustle, and the dollar bill itself. But if we peel back the financial mechanics for a second, we uncover the real narrative twist of this entire explainer. Because honestly, if you're sitting there thinking this is just another story about business strategy or managing money, well, you're kind of missing the core message of the source material.
See, the biggest obstacle in this whole journey, the actual dragon he had to slay, was never a lack of money. Nope. A lack of capital is just the perceived obstacle, right? It's the go-to excuse everyone else uses. The true obstacle, the one looming much, much larger, was fear. It was an entirely internal battle. I mean, it is so easy to just shrug and say, hey, I don't have the capital. It is terrifyingly harder to look in the mirror and admit, actually, I'm just afraid.
Let's break down exactly what that fear looks like, because the source text nails 3 very specific and highly relatable types of fear here. First up, the fear of starting. Just taking that dollar and making the very first move is completely paralyzing for most of us. Second is the fear of failing. What if you try your absolute hardest, you give it everything, and it still falls apart? And third, which is probably the heaviest one of all, the fear of being judged. Remember all those friends doubting him earlier? He had to actively conquer the absolute terror of looking foolish in front of everyone he knew.
And that brings us right to the ultimate lesson from the alchemy of persistence. Conquering those internal fears, the starting, the failing, the judging, through pure, unyielding persistence. That is the true alchemy of this whole story. It was never actually about the dollar bill. It was about having the stamina to keep putting one foot in front of the other when every single instinct and every single person around you is screaming at you to stop. That exact mechanism is what transforms a completely ordinary person into an extraordinary success. So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We all have our own version of that $1, don't we? And we absolutely all have our own loud chorus of fears and doubts. So based on everything we just unpacked, how are you going to confront your own fears to change the way you think about your future, starting right now, today? The blueprint is sitting right there. The decision, though? Well, that's entirely yours.